Hello and welcome to the Film Bros podcast. I am one of your hosts, Sam Hogarth.
And I've been formally warned by the Podcast Commission, the PC Police, to formally address myself as Richard Hogarth. Yes. So, but fuck them. I am Rich from the VSC. So that's me moving forward. So yes, but no, Richard Hogarth. Yeah.
It's okay, you can go with Rich, that's fine.
I know. Fine. But we had to make that because the old commission wanted to...
that's me, by the way.
Yeah. I was told, no, you've got to introduce yourself properly, so... It's fine.
Well, because people don't know who you are. That's why I had to say that. But anyway...
Moving on.
Moving swiftly on. As we're going to start every podcast, Richard, it's how you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Work's been tough. You know the drill. I mean, I gather that's been pretty bad for you. Watching movies. I've been watching quite a lot of TV shows, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
But how about yourself?
Yeah, good. Yeah, just tired all the time. Just fucking adult life, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like, feeling good though. Like being sort of really creative and sort of as we're kind of speaking sort of right now, I've just released a short film called Locked In. So if you want to head over to my other YouTube channel, which is just Sam Hogarth, you can go watch that there. And looking forward to seeing the reaction. And obviously if you like it, leave comments and all that kind of stuff as well. And give it a like.
Exciting times, man.
Yeah, it's exciting to sort of finally this one is kind of got out there now and people can watch it, and there'll be more videos coming on that channel soon. There's going to be a making of, and then there's going to be a video of me breaking down my directing in the making of, which I am and not looking forward to making because and analysing your own directing performance is sort of like the do's and don'ts kind of thing. But yeah, head over there. There will also be more videos coming over on that channel as well. But yeah, I've not been doing too bad, trying to watch as much stuff as well as possible. Which
I've been spying your Letterboxed. It's been pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure it has, and which I'm sure we will get into later on in this episode. Our main topic of discussion will be Paul Thomas Anderson's back catalogue. Where we'll be both doing a ranking of what we think is his best and worst films.
Yeah.
But our first little topic is it's been the Oscars. And Richard, what did you make of the results, surprise winners, or any, I don't know, kind of surprise omissions for you? Anything like that?
I think this is where me and you are probably going to be. We're already going to start to be at loggerheads because
Do you reckon?
Yeah, because I think I need to get into it, which is I think One Battle After Another deserved the Oscars. I think it might not have been. I haven't seen Sentimental Value. I haven't seen quite a lot of like Station Agent and a lot of the films that were talked about.
Do you mean Secret Agent?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Station Agent. Oh, I've got that film on my head. It's because I saw it yesterday, you see. But I think for me, it's very much like now it's won the Oscars. PTA has finally done it. He's won it for a film that deserved to, unlike Martin Scorsese. I know, but like we can talk about like the Martin Scorsese, controversy till the cows come home. You know what I mean? But there have been so many filmmakers that have made films that didn't deserve an Oscar, and he's one that actually won an Oscar for a film he actually should have, And I think I'm grateful for that. I mean, I can go into opinions later in the podcast proper, but everyone jumping on Sinners has been great. I would have loved if Sinners for me would have swept, I would have been absolutely fantastic with that as well. But I'm so happy it won the amount it did. And I think a lot of the big surprises for me it was more how horror dominated, in that we are now seeing a shift, at least it feels for me, that horror is now being respected, because Amy Madigan realistically shouldn't have won. If we look at it like that, you know, it's
do you mind if I jump in here? Because obviously we're moving on to another sort of topic. Where I want to address the Sinners and obviously you're sort of saying about Paul Thomas Anderson winning Best Director, which I guess is fair enough. Absolutely, I think that is fair enough. I think this is the Martin Scorsese moment where he's won it for a film that he didn't deserve to win it for. It's not his best film, but again, in the main part of the podcast, we will talk about what I think is his best film.
Okay. And
I for me, the best film easily is Mighty Supreme of the year, of last year. That I've seen. I've like you. I've not seen Secret Agent. I've not seen Sentimental Value. I've not seen every film from last year. From the ones that I have seen, like the three front runners I have seen, Mighty Supreme, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. And Mighty Supreme is the best film out of those three, hands down.
Yeah,
it's not even a question in my opinion.
I respectfully disagree.
You can unrespectfully disagree if you want to. You fucking bitch. Like...
That's fine. No. But I want to make it clear for the record that you respectfully decline my picks.
I don't respectfully decline. No.
Well, all right. Well, fuck you then.
I'm standing on this hill, and I actually think you're wrong.
No,
I think everyone.
That's fine.
I don't see Sinners is a good film. It's not a great film. One Battle After Another is good, but it's not great. Where Mighty Supreme tells such a compelling story with wonderful actors, and Timothée Chalamet, that is a career best performance by far for him so far. It's not even.
But I mean, he's not really. He's only just now getting into the kind of level of performance that would allow him. But
what's going to happen to Timmy is going to happen to what happened to Leo. Is he won for The Revenant when it wasn't even his best performance.
And
this is what's happening with the Oscars: is they're not actually rewarding actors at the peak of their performances, and that's why Michael B. Jordan, playing the same character with a different fucking color scheme, wins the Oscar for playing the same character. It makes no sense to me. He does not deserve the Academy Award.
I disagree completely, because if you really look at that film, the amount of level of nuance and what he's trying to do is just there. And look, don't get me wrong. Timothy deserved to.
It's so
be
nuanced,
noted.
you can't even see it. You can't even see the nuance. Because do you know why, Richard? It's not fucking there. That's why. There. He plays the same character. One's fucking got a blue hat, and the other one's got a red hat.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Honestly, if you want to see real twins, go watch Legend from Tom Hardy. You know,
I mean, I'd even go.
A real set of twins who has
Jeremy Irons.
I've not for what film?
Dead Ringers.
I've not seen
David Cronenberg. Oh mate,
I don't know.
Yeah,
but they are real. They are real performances, and that's where Timothée Chalamet, without question, was the best actor of the year.
No,
without question.
No.
He was robbed, absolutely.
No.
But anyway, let's move on to Amy Madigan, someone who did deserve her Academy Award, in my opinion.
Okay, go on.
And like you say about respecting horror, it does feel that way. Even with Sinners, like I do grant you that Sinners is definitely getting the respect that horror deserves.
Yeah.
But I think it's been a bad year for films, I think. There's only been 3.
I'll be honest with you, I'm going through quite a lot of 2025, and I've recently rewatched
I don't know how it didn't. Sorry to interrupt, but I don't know how Weapons didn't get nominated for Best Film.
Yeah, no,
F1
I mean,
did. How?
Again, the problem with the Oscars is it's such a it's a political atmosphere. Yeah. So again, obviously with Warner Brothers, they were like, we've got one battle. We know one battle's going to be great. And the other one is like, we knew Sinners was going to be the big one, so they bet all their chips on Sinners. And I don't blame them. But, I mean, because, again, would Weapons have crossed over to the Oscar market? Probably not. I wish it had been nominated for screenplay, at least, because, my God, what Zach did with that movie. But, the thing is I know a lot of people have been dissing Frankenstein. Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, sorry, I should make that very, very clear. And, obviously, we've had Sinners, we've had Weapons... And seeing those 3 take home, about 10, 15 awards, great. I'm happy with that. It doesn't have to always be the acting. I'm glad acting's been nominated because, for us, me and you, the biggest Oscar snub, I think, for us is still Lupita Nyong'o and Us.
Yeah.
Because that is
100%.
genuinely like, how does someone reach that level of emotion and convey two clear, distinct personalities, again, the twin syndrome, but doesn't get nominated?
Yeah, that's actually a good point, because that's another great performance where an actor plays two characters.
Yeah.
And I don't know how Lupita did.
I mean,
did not win.
that entire family. Because if you
Oh,
all the actors, they end up playing usually. Yeah, they play doppelgangers
The
of
film,
themselves.
I didn't really understand, if I'm being completely honest.
No.
But the acting was absolutely superb.
I mean, that's the thing. It's a messy film in terms of its construction, but I always respect it. I always respect it because it's a film you can come back to. But no. Any more Oscar kind of talk, or should we get on to our topic? Yeah.
To carry on the Oscar chapters for a little bit more.
Oh no.
Autumn Arkapow, hopefully I'm saying that right. I'm really sorry. Being the first woman to win Best Cinematography, a bit of history at the Oscars for Sinners, and what an amazing achievement!
Absolutely.
Incredible.
I mean, that was the one where I make a wager with our dad. We always do, like, every year with the Oscars, and I put Michael Ballman down. I'm pretty sure it's Michael Ballman for one battle, but I said if Autumn had won, I said it's simple, like, and I'm so glad the rich grain and texture, and the light and shade, but also just the compositions. Like, as much as, again, I know you like the film, you don't love the film. You can't deny that the cinematography in that film is fucking gorgeous.
Oh no, it is. Yeah. Absolutely stunning.
Like,
I've been very lucky as well to watch it in IMAX as well, and it was
wasted on people like you.
They're like it. To be fair, yes. But I can understand and appreciate the craftsmanship of the film, and like the cinematography, the music, everything like that, I think is just stunning in the film. Obviously, as you already mentioned at the beginning, is that Paul Thomas Anderson won for Best Director finally. And I mean, he's kind of, in my opinion, almost like John Williams. Or no, sorry, not John Williams.
It's like Quentin Tarantino.
No, I was going to say Roger Deakins.
Yeah.
So like he's kind of been like a nearly man. So like he's obviously made so many amazing films. And he's been nominated before, and he's been the bridesmaids but never been the bride. So for him to finally win it is, I mean, deservedly so. He needs that recognition and deserves the recognition. But is it the right film? I think that it's time to then go into our lists and talk about it. And go into Paul Thomas Anderson's back catalogue. So how we're going to work this is, I think we're going to go from 10 to 1.
Yeah.
So we'll both do our number 10s, have a little short discussion about each, why we've put them at 10, and then 9, 8, 7, 6, etc., etc. But
quickly, before we get into that, I just wanted to ask you one question, because obviously I know we're here for the rankings and we're going to get into a very heated debate, but I kind of want to start off civilly, which is, how do you remember the first time you got into Paul Thomas Anderson? Because I think this is a really interesting question, especially when we do these filmmaker episodes, which is like, do you remember the first film, or do you remember how you got into it? Because I'm pretty sure I showed you a film. I can't remember which one, but I know specifically how I got into Paul Thomas Anderson. But I'd love to hear your kind of thoughts.
But obviously it was you who got me into Paul Thomas Anderson, as you get me into sort of most filmmakers.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it was Magnolia.
I was going to say it was either Magnolia or Boogie Nights.
Yeah.
It was one of those that I remember we watched, but I do remember I do actually have a memory of us watching Boogie Nights. But yeah, Magnolia was definitely one of the first watching sort of PTA, and I've kind of like loved him ever since, really. And then I've kind of, as you know, sort of done more of a deep dive more recently, sort of readiness for this episode.
But some of his films are harder to see than others, but then, which is, definitely one of them is, and it's also kind of like, he's got such a varied filmography as well, so it depends on mood and and availability. But yeah, I remember. I think mine must have been Magnolia. Because I'm just trying to think. It was either that or it was There Will Be Blood, and then I went back through, and then obviously I've been very lucky to see Hard 8 on the big screen in 35mm. I wish I could have seen other films, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. But yeah, I he's a filmmaker for me that I just want to say this, and again, if you want to add to this, it'd be great. But I was going to say he's a filmmaker because I always keep saying like somebody's my favorite filmmaker. He's a filmmaker that when we started doing the film journey, I didn't appreciate. But as I get older, I've noticed like Tarantino's dropped away. I've noticed other people have dropped away, but like Guillermo del Toro, Kubrick, Alejandro Jodorowsky, they've all stayed, but Paul Thomas Anderson has risen. And it's simply because the guy is so versatile and he cannot make a bad movie. I genuinely don't believe there is a thing in his body that allows him to make a really bad movie. There are films that I don't like, but I've never seen a piece of shit from him, whereas, or something phoned in, whereas I can see it with, some other filmmakers.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And I think like in terms of also just film language, like Paul Thomas Anderson is such an important filmmaker in terms of being a real genuine artist who's contributed to cinema's progression. I think he's kind of up there with like your Spielbergs and Scorsese's, but in a different way because of the type of films that he makes. But he has made a real difference to cinema as it is. I mean, the kind of films that he makes, like you can't imagine anyone else making like a Boogie Nights or a There Will Be Blood than Paul Thomas Anderson. They're very him, and they're very distinctively him. And same with like, when you watch a Tarantino film or a Spielberg film, like that they belong to that filmmaker and to that filmmaker's
with visual ticks, but also kind of thematic work as well.
Yeah, I think as well for me is because one of the things is just how good his writing is, and then that contributes so much to then how good his films are. Because I think like I was actually thinking about this a little bit about like. I about like Tarantino and all this kind of stuff. Like people say he's an overrated director, and I think this is a very quick tangent, but I think he is an overrated director. But he's an extraordinarily good writer, and it's like you don't need to be a good director if the writing is very good.
Yeah.
Because do you know what I mean? It's like when you have characters like this is just an example for Tarantino, but like Hans Lander or like Vincent Vega, you don't need to really direct because it's on the page.
Yeah.
And I think Paul Thomas Anderson's a bit like that because it's all there on the page, and the characters are so lifelike, and they have so much detail and so much detail in every single character. But the thing is, what separates them is that his directing is exceptional as well, and that's a real difference, is that he is a one-off. I think PTA.
He's an all-rounder for sure, and especially when you hear like the stories of how like One Battle was made, and the fluidity of which he was able to literally have a script, send it out to people, but then as soon as Benicio comes in, he's like, "Oh, we're going to change the entire script." You're like, "What?" And it's like, "Yeah, we're just going to take a couple of months, couple of weeks, we'll figure it out." I'm like, "What? Mate, what?" And that's $150 million budget. You're like, Jesus Christ. How many filmmakers can do that? But no, I just wanted to add that.
No, that's absolutely fine. So shall we get into the list?
I think we need to, because this is going to be a little bit of the run time for this.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So coming in at number 10. Do you want to do the honors, or do you mean?
No. Ladies first.
Ladies first.
That's all right. I'm not holding back now because
you're such a bitch.
Yeah, that's all right. I know I am.
Okay. So coming in at number 10 for me is Inherent Vice. I think that is easily PTA's worst film, and that's again, obviously my opinion is that I think that again it's really well written. I think it's really well directed. I love the design of it. but it is a meandering detective story that kind of really goes nowhere. And I think this kind of love story between Catherine Watson's character and Joaquin Phoenix, I don't really care about it. But what I do love are like some of the side characters, like Reese Witherspoon in it, and oh god, there's someone else I can't remember.
Josh Brolin.
Yeah, Josh Brolin. Absolutely love Josh. Like they're the characters who I think are more interesting than Joaquin Phoenix and Catherine Watson, and obviously who he's trying to find. If you haven't seen Inherent Vice, don't basically. But but it might be your kind of thing. But yeah, it's interesting, but it is so different from what PTA has done before, and it is something that I appreciate it to a point, but I just don't think it's very good.
Go fuck yourself. That's what I've got to say on that one.
Thanks, mate.
I think I'll
It's okay.
I'll get into it.
You can say but why you like Inherent Vice when it comes to your
I'm just throwing you shade right now because that is absolute fucking nonsense. My number 10.
I mean, it's not, but you know
it is. Even though you're entitled to opinion, you shouldn't be entitled to opinion.
Yeah, go for it.
When you're fucking dropping hot takes like that.
It's not really much of a hot take. It's a hot pile of shit. It's not. It's not.
Wow.
I mean, I wish I could make a film that's half as good as Inherent Vice.
Yeah.
Like, you know, do you know what I mean?
No. And look, we're trying to have fun with this.
Yeah. Like we're just trying to have fun, and that's the thing. Like we're sitting here, or I'm sitting here, sort of like throwing, you know, not thinking that this film's very good and this, that, and the other. But I only wish I could make a film that's half as good as Inherent Vice. That's fine. But yeah.
So I think this is a very interesting note for me to add to this list, which is at number 10, it is a 4-star movie. I need to be very, very clear with people that no film of his has ever dropped below 4 stars.
That's interesting. Sorry, can I quickly just then interject and I'll say Inherent Vice, if you go to my Letterboxd, you'll be able to find all my PTA ratings.
You are a shameless slag. You really are. Honestly, I'm surprised you haven't whipped it out and actually showed everyone. It's like, hey guys, I've got a Letterboxd.
The link will be in the description below, and so will Richard's. And but I gave Inherent Vice 2 stars, basically.
2.5.
Is it 2.5?
2.5.
Okay, I'm gonna double check that while you. Go on, you can.
Yeah, I knew you'd be whipping it out.
10. I'm going to be whipping it out.
So number 4 for me is Hard 8. It is or Sydney, if you know it as Sydney. It is Paul Thomas Anderson's first film, and I remember when I first saw it, it reminded me so much of kind of subpar Martin Scorsese, kind of like, you know, Martin Scorsese knockoffs. I have since watched it at least 4 times. And it is so good. It didn't deserve that moniker I gave it at the time. But when you're first watching it and you're trying to understand a lot of things about a filmmaker or whatever, you can definitely see inspiration. But the dialogue in that and the characterizations are fucking there. I do think that the plotting is a little bit not quite there, but as a film, it's a solid debut. I know he kind of had problems getting it off the ground and getting a release, and the studio kind of wanted to recut it. So, but at the end of the day, it's still a really good film if you can get to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you said, but it needs to be higher, in my opinion, because like I think that again, like I think I gave that 4.5 stars. Hard 8. I think it's an unbelievable film, actually.
It's fine.
I think 10 is harsh.
No, but the problem with this list is that the guy's made 10 movies, and I don't think any of them are bad. If I had my shut the fuck up. Shut up, honestly. If there was one that I had to put at the bottom, it's that.
Inherent Vice.
Yeah, because it's not a film.
I'm glad you agree.
Shut up. Shut up, honestly. Christ almighty, I knew this was going to go. I knew this was going to go with that film specifically. You're just being an irritating little shit where you're putting needles in my eyes, honestly.
Also, Inherent Vice, I did give 2 stars.
Oh, it was 2.
It was 2.
I thought it was 2.5. Sorry.
No.
I didn't want to.
I
didn't mean to give it the extra half a star.
Did you know what I said?
Yeah.
I said it's not that good. Give it a half star. I'm joking.
Right.
I'm joking.
But
right.
with Hard Eight, I do. It's good. It's interesting, but I look for rewatchability factor, and there's not a lot there other than kind of like Philip Baker Hall and kind of as much as I love John C. Reilly and Gwyneth Paltrow, but it's Sam Jackson, and he's not in the film nearly long enough for me. But yeah, anyway,
I actually agree with what you say there. There's not a lot of rewatchability. I think that's actually a really good point, and yeah, I think that is.
Well, you compare it to something like The Master. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
no.
Yeah,
where the Master's more depressing.
Yeah,
but you can mine so much more out of it. But anyway, not to ruin stuff.
Yeah, no, not at all. But also, I was just going to quickly say, I know you've seen Hard Eight on the big screen in film as well.
Yeah, it's on 35mm.
At the Prince Charles Theatre.
Yeah.
What was that? Quickly, what was that like?
No, you're all right. Basically, for me, it was a real experience because very much like when I got to see Jackie Brown, I'm not trying to tangent into Tarantino. You get into this zone as a film watcher where you're watching a film by yourself, or it might be with a relative like you, or it might be with friends, and basically you start to question whether the film is funny, it's good, it's whatever. But to watch it with a group of people who understand the movie, who are there to watch the movie, it's fantastic. Like it that screening elevated because I would have given it 3.5. I think I was giving it 3.5, but then it bumped up because just being able to now understand it on the big screen, no distractions, you're watching it and just investing yourself in the story. Yeah, I do. Again, I love the movie, but if I have to be truly honest, it's the one that I come back to not as much.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. That was really nice to actually hear that. It's interesting to know that the watching it on film in a special cinema as well actually improved your rating of it and improved your viewing.
It's like I got to see Life Aquatic. I've told you, and with Jackie Brown, you go some of the stuff in those movies. You go, Jesus Christ! Like nobody's going to want to watch this. Nobody's going to do it. So to see it translate, especially to kids now, they laughing, especially with some of the language as well. Like both films have problematic language, but you're kind of sitting there and you're just watching this sea of like, and you're settling in and you're just watching it. It's fucking great.
Okay, no, great.
Cool.
So let's move on to number 9. So my number 9 is Phantom Thread, which is quite a hot take probably and quite controversial, as it is. It's kind of considered one of PTA's best, and I think it is actually one of his worst. I think it's very well crafted. I think it's very well made. I love the acting in it. I think Daniel Day-Lewis is great. But for me, the problems, it's just the story is very problematic for me. And my problem with Phantom Thread is that you have got an incredibly unlikable character involved in this romance, which makes no sense. It makes no sense why this woman would even be remotely attracted to this absolute arsehole.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not along for the journey. And it's like, he's a guy who treats everybody like shit and incredibly unlikable. He's got no redeeming qualities. And then this is where then I just couldn't care less and I drop out the film.
Yeah.
And that's where then it's like, well, don't get me wrong, like it's an okay film. In terms of, I mean, obviously it's very well crafted and all this kind of stuff, as I've already said. But in terms of the story, I actually think, it is one of his weakest by far, and I don't enjoy it, and I also have no intention of going back to it.
Okay.
Again, like we can get into obviously why you like it on when you sort of place it.
I want to give you the space to talk, and I think you have spoken. It has pissed me off, but
I don't know why, because I'm completely right, so I don't understand why.
Just you wait to my one.
No, I'm sure. So Richard, what's your number 9?
My number 9, Punch Drunk Love.
Oh mate,
here we go.
You can get fucked, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I know, like you said, like every rating is...
It's a 4-star film. It's a 4-star film.
Which obviously,
it needs to be
a lot.
It needs to be credited.
Love is at least top 5.
It needs to be credited as
at least top 5, man.
No.
Just make it's in my top 5. I didn't want to say it's got to be top 5, and in mine's 6. Do you know what I mean? I just had to check quickly.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, have I actually put it 6 or 7? But no.
No. I completely understand. The problem I have with it is, I think some of the problems you have with some of the films. I love Adam Sandler in it. I think everyone is acting.
Oh my God, yeah.
I love the romance to it and the whimsy.
Yeah.
It's so whimsy. My problem is the kind of drama and how it kind of escalates in the respect that the sisters don't love, the way that they're aggressive to Adam Sandler. Every other character just seems to be attracted to Adam Sandler in a really aggressive way. Now, I understand it's a good movie. It is technically perfect, and it's in there. It's not the kind of movie that I enjoy, and it's not a film that I come back. Like every time I come back to it, I keep forgetting about the sisters, and then as soon as they dig into Adam Sandler, I literally just look and I look around and I just go, thank God I never had a sister, because if that's the case, my God. That's the bullying.
Well, he had 7 sisters,
I know,
to be fair. Like,
but
if he had one sister, it could be very different.
It could be, but like it was just that kind of group mentality against him. And again, I'm biased because I'm looking at it from his perspective. And again, and that's why films are always subjective and never objective. You know who you are. You know who you are.
I think that very well spoken.
But no, and as again, I can see it from if I distance myself from it, it's objectively a good movie. That's what I mean. It's 4 stars. It's great. It's so beautifully constructed. Philip Seymour Hoffman's great in it. Emily Watson's amazing.
I love the phone call that. Sorry to interrupt, but Sandler and Hoffman have.
Oh, you'll get your chance. You'll get your chance. Don't worry.
So good.
But it's not a film that I can come back and easily rewatch. I have to be in the right state of mind. Really? I have to. Yeah, I mean, again, some of that will lead into some of my other picks later on, but I think I've had stronger reactions to them. Whereas this, I always feel at a bit of an arm's length with it. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's really good. Yeah. So let's move on to number 8, which I think is probably the most controversial of the lot, to be honest.
Just say it. Just say it. Come on.
Is There Will Be Blood? Is my number 8,
and that's the one I'm not actually angry about.
Okay, cool. That's all right then, because that's considered one of the greatest films of all time.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I do think that Paul Dano and Daniel Day-Lewis they give 2, I would say, of the best performances ever.
Yeah.
And I do think I did give this like 3.5 stars on Letterboxd or something. So again, it's not like a terrible film. So it'd be a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
I just think that it's just too long. And I think that the runtime weighs it down. And I'm not going to lie, I did get bored watching it. I don't think it is that compelling. Yeah. And I think that, it's just...
Sometimes it's just taste.
It is, but the thing is, I don't mind like slow films. Like, there are slow films that I really like Blue is the Warmest Colour. I really like Midsommar.
But you like a film that has a bit of propulsion to it.
There has to be. Yeah. Like for me, like there has to be something keeping you engaged or like just interested or just some little nugget like keeping the momentum moving forward. And that's another reason why I don't like The Thing, which I'm sure we'll come to another episode. Yeah. But like, there's just the film lacks momentum, and it's then hard to be engaged with something when you don't have that all the time.
Yeah.
And they're easily like good sort of 10 to 20 minute chunks where there is no momentum.
Well, I mean,
I just don't care.
Well, that's actually a really good kind of comparison.
But that could be more of a sort of a thing about me,
I think the thing is, I mean, you mentioned.
But again, it's just my taste.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned in The Thing. Realistically, they're kind of a similar story. One set in the desert, one set in Antarctica. You've got a group of characters that are fighting and arguing with each other. They can't leave, so they're trapped, but the arguments never really get resolved because they're always fighting, and there's always something new that kind of gets them going.
Yeah, and Daniel Day-Lewis is actually an alien.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm glad you finally got that.
Oh my god! Yeah, no. It broke my mind when you said that, because I was like, yeah, he's a transformative creature, isn't he? Yeah, he is. He's the alien from The Thing. We've figured it out.
There you go. Yeah.
You've heard it here first.
Yeah. That's why he doesn't stay near fire too long.
I mean, I'm not like, I've heard your hot take on There Will Be Blood, and it's like, I get it. I disagree, not as strongly as some of the other takes, but I see where you're coming from, and again, like, it's a taste thing.
It is, yeah, but also just to reiterate, I'm not saying this is more to the audience listening or watching.
Yeah.
I don't think There Will Be Blood or even Phantom Thread are bad films.
No,
like, they are obviously very good films. But in terms of my list, I think for Paul Thomas Anderson, I think he's made better films. I think that's just where I stand on it. So, Richard, what was your number 8?
Okay. The Master.
I mean, for visual watchers, if you're watching on YouTube, you would have seen my visceral reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, audio listeners have just heard my audio reaction, but fuck off.
Yeah.
You're having a giraffe.
Wait till you hear the next one. The next one's worse.
Again, like, I know what you're saying. Again, it's not a bad film because all of them are above 4 stars.
Yeah. No. Starting with the last one. What was? Oh no! Starting with The Master, it's 5 stars.
It's all 5 stars from this point.
Yeah, they're all 5-star masterpieces moving forward, and it became very difficult for me because
fuck off.
No. Again, I'm biased towards Paul because I love his work. I love his movies. This becomes so my approach to this list was never going to be objective quality. It was always going to be subjective. How do I feel about this film? And Master for me is one that it's so tough to watch. It's so tough. You're watching, toxic masculinity. You're watching cults. The idea of like, I could genuinely watch that right this moment and give it another 5 stars and think it's a masterpiece, but it's not a film that I desperately have that call to watch, to rewatch. And it's a tough one because, again, I love and admire that movie, and I will watch it like once every kind of couple of years, but it takes a lot out of me watching it, and that's where it's not anything to do. Yeah,
it's not an easy watch.
I don't want to keep repeating the same old crap that
But it's not an easy watch, though, is it?
Yeah, no,
like, especially with Joaquin and like the decline of his
it's a lot of psychological warfare that's going on within it. And don't get me wrong, there's so many great scenes in the movie that need to be, the moment where like Philip and Joaquin are sitting there and Philip's trying to break him down and kind of understand him. It's seeing the nuance and the kind of like the reactions on such a microscopic level as like an iris flare and a nose kind of flare. You're like, Jesus, this is watching a master at work. I do not come back to this film as much, or I think about this film as much as other films down the line.
Okay, no, that's I was gonna say fair enough. It's not fucking fair, but
No. But now you know how I feel. You see.
Yeah. My number 7 is Magnolia.
Okay.
And I think, again, I rewatched this recently because I think I only watched it once or twice, which is when we first watched it. So I wanted to kind of have a refresh of it before doing this episode. And I gave it 3.5 stars as well. So again, it's not a bad film at all. I just think that of that era as well, because there's a lot of films where they have like there's multiple storylines, like Crash, like Pulp Fiction. It was very much a bit of a, I don't want to dare not say this, but a bit of a trend at the sort of like the 90s, early noughties. And I think there are just better ones of that kind of film, and because there are storylines that are better than others, and that's where then like when you go to one of those other storylines, it kind of loses momentum a little bit.
Yeah,
Tom Cruise's segment is the best. Like,
Yeah, with TJ
storyline.
Mackey. Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously it intertwines with Philip Seymour Hoffman's one, and I think it's sensational. I think it's a really, really good segment, and I think it's one of the best in the film. But for me, it's one that lacks rewatch value.
Yeah.
Actually, and it's kind of like once you kind of know what happens, that's kind of it, really, I guess. And obviously, if you remember it, so I don't remember it from the first time I watched it. But like, I do think it is better than There Will Be Blood and Phantom Thread, just in terms of like entertainment. And I think that a lot of the messages that it kind of gets across as well within the film is, I kind of resonate a little bit more with than Phantom Thread and There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's where I stand with Magnolia.
No, and again, that's kind of fair, and I again, this is what I mean. These lists are so subjective because my number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sitting down?
As you know, Richard, I am fucking sitting down.
I am about to break the internet. Boogie Nights.
Oh, you absolute waste of space.
Yeah, that's fine.
What a waste of oxygen you are, honestly.
Bring it on. Bring it on all the hate. And it's not it's not a pick for me to be controversial. The reason
you do a fucking good job of it.
I know. Well, so are you. To be fair, probably everyone will agree with you.
Yeah. And actually, no. I think a lot more people will probably agree with you than me.
The reason I chose Boogie Nights,
but also, again, caveat: these are all 5-star films.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The main reason I chose Boogie Nights to be 7 is I have a bit of a problem when people put films on the pedestal. You know, they put the pussy on the pedestal. And the thing for me is that when I watch Boogie Nights, I really love Boogie Nights. I had the same feeling with Pulp Fiction, and I had the same feeling with Goodfellas. I was like, these films are amazing. I get it. And then I watched the film afterwards. So Casino, Jackie Brown, Magnolia. And I went, what the fuck were people smoking? What on earth are people saying about Pulp Fiction? Jackie Brown's better. Like, you know, what Pulp Fiction shit. Like, no.
I heavily disagree.
Oh, no. I'm using my teenage brain.
No,
I have expanded my vocabulary on it a little bit long, a bit more. But and then I was like, Goodfellas. What the fuck is Goodfellas? Fuck that. It's Casino. It's like Casino's amazing. It's 3 hours and it's like it's got multi narrators and it was the same with Magnolia. I was like, I have this problem where films are like second films or a film in a career that is very flashy that people attract themselves to. I'm like, that's great, but after a while I go, yeah, but the flash is worn off for me. You know what I mean? I'm kind of past that now. I need the substance, and I find the follow-ups way more interesting. They may not be as entertaining, but they have more of that kind of juice that gets the brain going that I really cling on to. And that's where I stand on that. I think Boogie Nights is fucking brilliant. And I out of the kind of Pulp Fiction follow-up, it's fucking superior. It shits on Pulp Fiction. But I have other films in PTA's catalogue that I definitely chill out and enjoy a lot more.
Okay, cool.
I knew this was getting heated, mate. I knew this was getting heated, yeah.
So my number 6 is One Battle After Another, which, yes, the recent Best Picture Academy Award winner. Again, this is another 3.5-star film for me. Like, I watched it at the cinema as well. My problem with One Battle is, I mean, we've spoken about this a little bit, is for me that the beginning is so good, and that when, sorry, might be a little bit of a spoiler, so if you don't want to know, pause it or skip ahead a little bit. When Tiana Taylor, her character is no longer in the film, for me the energy just takes a nosedive, and as much as Benicio tries to bring that back when he comes in as Sensei Bob,
it's different energy, and it doesn't have that zip, that zoom about it, and I don't think it ever kind of picks that back up again. And that's where
I struggle with the film.
Yeah.
And it does. The pace is just really lacking for me, and I think I can't remember what Tiana Taylor's character is called, but she's so good in it. And again, like I don't know who won Best Supporting Actress.
It was Amy Madigan.
Amy Madigan. Well, yeah, for me it's a toss up. I mean, I'm glad Amy Madigan won for Weapons. I really am. But Tiana Taylor was so good in One Battle, and it just feels like something's missing.
Yeah.
From One Battle, and that's where I can't give it 5 stars or even 4 stars. And don't get me wrong though, again, the design, the way it's shot is absolutely spectacular, and like Leo is fantastic in it. Sean Penn, oh my god, I think is absolutely unbelievable. I think if any young actor wants to watch like how you create a character or like that, that's the embodiment of acting. But
that's Paul Thomas Anderson. Like, I mean, as much as you hate Daniel Plainview,
Who?
Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood. Yeah, Daniel Plainview. And Doc.
I thought you were talking about an actor for a second. Who the fuck is Daniel Plainview?
Yeah, but no. You look at Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood, Joaquin Phoenix in
The Master.
Not The Master. I'm thinking more Inherent Vice.
But
yeah. But it's that transformative quality where you look at them and you go, that's what the power of Paul as a director is. You know what I mean? And because The Master, he looks more like himself and he feels a little bit. But it's
Joaquin's
more the psychological
body movement and like he's kind of like hunched a bit and
and
like I think
But you could even take like say even Amy Adams in that film.
Oh yeah,
like that's so transformative again.
Yeah.
And that's like you said, a great kind of textbook for acting. Sorry.
No, you're absolutely fine. And that's where I just think that. But One Battle, like I did really enjoy it. I think it's a great story, and the thing about PTA as well, I think that all of his films are quite simple stories, just done incredibly well.
They're texturally rich with like themes and 100%. Ideas.
Yeah, and that's where like One Battle, I think deservedly is 6 for me. It's not bottom,
no,
but I do want to watch it again.
Especially how strong you are about some of the other films. Like that's still like that's what I mean. As I said, like it's all subjective, but you know, hearing you talk about it, it's like, yeah, no man. Yeah. Like again.
Go on then, Rich. What's your number 6?
God, I keep looking at it and I keep forgetting. My number 6, There Will Be Blood.
Okay, cool.
I love it. Again, I think once I watch it, I'm so immersed in the world. I love the you know give me your milkshake, you know, and all that. And I love the film, but it's not a film. Again, it's like a really good book. I come to it whenever I feel ready. I don't come to it often, and that's, again, it's not a problem with the filmmaking or anything else. It's just my personal taste. I admire that movie so much, and I came to it straight off the hype of 2007, which you didn't. You actually came to it a lot later with a lot more hype, but I sat there and I just remember being blown away by it. I was like, the images of like the oil well with complete darkness, and I know Paul had a bit of a break after Punch Drunk Love, and he was working on, he like very much like Tarantino. They'd made 4 films. They were struggling with their 5th, and he couldn't quite figure it out. And then out of nowhere, this drops, and you're like, what a fucking return! Loved it, and I do think Daniel Day-Lewis as that character, and like hearing things like he could, they actually had to reshoot the first 2 weeks worth of filming because Lewis didn't get the actual voice right. It's things like that you go, wow, like what they were able to do and craft an American classic. That needs to be said. It's a great film culturally around the world, but if we think of an American movie made by Americans that is just single-handedly one of their cultural texts, it's there. And
I see your point. Obviously, I don't agree. But
no. As much as we vary in the semantic,
like they say about like the classic American novel,
Yeah,
That's
not
what
everyone's going to agree.
No.
But you can understand.
Yeah, but There Will Be Blood will sit amongst the great American films.
Yeah, like To Kill a Mockingbird, Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
It will, because again, it talks about greed. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
The working class man who becomes the tycoon and basically ends up dying alone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, so let's move into the top 5.
Oh.
So here we go. So my number five, is Hard 8. Which I should have put 8th really, because Hard 8. But,
Yeah.
it doesn't really work. But
No.
But Hard 8 is my top 5. It just sneaks in there. Obviously, this is the first time I watched it recently, just for this episode.
Yeah.
And I just was mesmerised by it. I think... sorry, who's the guy who plays Sydney?
Oh, Philip Baker Hall.
Philip Baker Hall is just... it's just so good.
Yeah. Hearing
So
him
good.
talk, yeah.
Yeah, and like... the way he talks, and it's like he's got so much character in his voice, but then he adds that to just the embodiment of the character as well. This is a guy who's lived many lives. He's not
the
just...
moment he says, "I've offered you a cup of coffee and a cigarette," and it's just like, "Talk to me, talk to me."
Yeah.
And you just go, "Wow."
And it's just like the way he breaks things down so calmly, but like just makes sense with everything, and it's so reassuring. But like, he is just somebody who I think is a fantastic character as Sydney. John C. Reilly, obviously Gwyneth Paltrow, obviously you touched upon as well, are fantastic in it as well. Same as Sam Jackson, who, what a villain, man! Like, do I kind of sort of say villain-ish?
Yeah, he's definitely an antagonist. Yeah,
of some kind.
But it's how passive aggressive he is. That's what makes him really interesting.
Yeah.
Their first kind of interaction in the bar, he's just sitting there, because obviously I didn't want to take all this away. It's nice that I can converse with you, because we've not really talked about the film actually, and it was just kind of nice to see like them two sitting there, and he's like, "Hey Sydney," and then Sydney's just kind of like not shaking his hand, and he goes, "Oh, is there a problem?" Kind of thing, and he's just like, "Oh, I know how you do business. I don't do business with you. I don't like how you do business," kind of thing, and you're like, "Okay." And I'm just like, this is going to be good.
Yeah, and just like one of the things I've written down here is that like, even because this is obviously his first film, is that you get a lot of early PTA traits from this film as well, like sustained 2 shots, lots of steady cam movements.
Someone's been doing their homework and watching,
Well, yes, but also I'm someone who's watched all 10 of his films now, and it's like you do pick up stuff, and it's but like, I think as well, you can kind of put that down to as well that probably obviously low budget. So they would have had to have done sustained 2 shots like Kevin Smith does in Clerks, to save money, to save film. So that's why then they do longer takes and all this kind of stuff. And that's where, you do see a lot of that in Hard 8. And yeah, I think you do still see obviously like wonderful colour palettes as well, and like the way that like the production design is very PTA, sort of very early on, even from his first film.
Yeah.
And also I love the sneaky cameo of Philip Seymour Hoffman at the craps table.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I think all of those, again, it's a very simple story, just done really well. It gets in, it does its job, and it gets out of there. It's only like an hour and a half as well, hour 40 minutes, and it just keeps you hooked for me all the way through, and I loved it.
No,
so I think it's a really special film, and if you haven't watched it, go watch it, because
that's obviously really hard to watch in the UK. And obviously, I know I've lent you my disc, and it's great hearing you talk about it like that, because again, that was the one where I was like, I think you probably won't enjoy that, but you've really struck a chord with it, and it's good.
Absolutely. So go on, Richard, what enters your top 5?
Oh yeah. Okay. Right.
We've been keeping these so secret from each other. If you're a YouTube watcher, you just see Richard literally keeping his list.
It's because I keep forgetting as well, and my memory's going. But
that's why I've got my laptop here. So
and I'm not trying to stare at your picks, but it was just.
Please try not to.
No. But my number 5 has to be Licorice Pizza.
Okay, so that's fair.
I think
top 5.
The thing for me is that, like, as much as, because we recently rewatched it, and that kind of sparked. Well, I was rewatching it. You watched it for the first time, and it just reminded me of why I love this guy. It's so fresh, energetic. The romance is there. I think for me, it tackles a lot of like what Punch Drunk Love is doing, and it's got a lot of that kind of first love, aggressive energy because of the fighting that they have, but it does so in a way that is more palatable. I mean, Bradley Cooper as I think it's John Peters.
Yeah, John
Peters. I've heard legendary stories of what a fucking arsehole this guy is.
Well, he was Barbara Streisand's hairdresser turned producer
/ husband, or I think he was husband, but yeah, he's the guy. If you don't know, he's the guy that kept telling Kevin Smith to put a giant spider in the Superman script for the Nick Cage Superman, and that's the story he's been able to kind of milk for quite a while. But it is genuinely one of the like funnest stories. But yeah, I love Licorice Pizza so much, and it kind of mixes that kind of French New Wave with just great American cinema. Do you know what I mean? It's like, you know, there's a lot of running down the streets, and you feel that kind of breathless approach to the character, the love, the camera work. But then you also get just the American stupidity, like the golf course with Sean Penn. I think that is just there. It's so beautifully handled, and it's a film that I think has gone so under the radar of his career because it came out right at the beginning of COVID. It's people just don't remember it. As of when we record this, it is playing on Mubi. Get a subscription, get a DVD, get a Blu-ray. I don't give a fuck. Just watch it. Sit your ass down with a big old bag of popcorn, you know, some sweats, and just enjoy it. It's a great film.
I agree.
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, mine, obviously, for me, it's slightly higher, but
no.
It is a wonderful film. I agree with everything you said.
No, okay.
Yeah,
cool.
But I just put it slightly higher.
No. Again,
yeah. As you know, because obviously it's not.
Yeah. Because now I think.
Top four
Now we're starting to see where the chips are landing and why we got so aggravated at the beginning of the thing. Because we're about to again. I told you the middle will be really, delicate.
Yeah.
It's like super friendly. It's like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden we just been at each other's throats for like the last half an hour. So number 4 is Punch Drunk Love for me.
Yeah.
I think it is a masterful film.
Yeah.
Like, in every sense of the word. Like, I think Adam Sandler's performance is... Oh, it's so unbelievable.
Can I just interject quickly? Sorry.
No, you can't.
Oh, no, all I was going to say... No. Because you brought Adam Sandler up, I hate doing this, but I just wanted to ask, are you a fan of his comedy films? Like, do you still watch, like, Billy Madison, Little Nicky? Oh, so, no. This for you was a bit of a revelation kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. But I love these roles more from him. Don't get me wrong, like, Little Nicky is probably my favourite of his comedy performances. But Punch Drunk Love is just a whole new level. And it's like the character... Like, I have just so many questions on this character, which I'm sure are still in the film, which I've not even watched, and I want to rewatch it. So it has a lot of rewatch value for me. I gave this film 4.5 stars as well.
What's one of the questions? I'm just curious about like the character.
Oh,
is it the toilet plunger business?
Well, there's that, but it's like, like he's so intrinsically curious about so many things, because that's why he takes the piano off the street, or it's not even a piano, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's like, and then like the whole Air Miles thing, and it's like he's just tries to he finds things interesting, and it's like I want to figure out why he finds those things interesting. And I'm sure those answers are in the film somewhere, and that's why I need to rewatch it to find out. And it's like the guy is so intrinsically curious and wants to like make things work. Because again, like the piano doesn't work, and he's trying to figure out while he's also trying to run a business, and he's got no money. And then it's then like, but fundamentally he's just lonely. And it's such a great film about the perspective of loneliness, and it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And then like you say about how the way his sisters treat him, and like they treat him like a punching bag, and they treat him like an idiot.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And then like Emily Watson is so fantastic.
She's so cute in it as well, because that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Because it's like
not in like a creepy way or anything.
No. But it's the way
adorable.
Yeah. Together they're adorable, but it's the way that she has seen and addressed his anger, but never calls him out on it.
Yeah.
The only time she ever gets mad and she raises like her voice just a little bit is the moment when she's in the hospital. And obviously
because when she says that, because it's like, you left me in the hospital, and in the whole context of the film, that's such a gut punch, because it's like, you know how much Sandler's character like feels for Emily Watson, and then for that to happen, and it's like, but he did it for his own reasons, but then
and to help them, and to help them.
But then it's like, and he feels like he's obviously massively fucked up, and it's so good.
But
man.
that's where it kind of leads into that realism.
Yeah.
Like a realism, because she says, like, don't do it again.
Yeah.
This is your one chance.
Yeah. It's like breaking trust, isn't it?
Yeah.
And honestly, it's such delicate, beautiful filmmaking and storytelling. And like, for me, like, it's 100% up there as like one of his best films, in my opinion. Obviously, so I put it 4 for fuck's sake, obviously. But then every act of violence that he does, you feel is completely justified as well, because you feel the anger, you feel the pent up frustration, because also he can't let it out because he doesn't want to let people down. He doesn't want other people to, again, like, he's so very self-protective of himself, and it's just wonderful.
Well, if you
I'm going to stop there, because
I was just going to quickly say, because if you think about, because he goes into like the problem is he's got sisters, so naturally, because obviously us being brothers was like, we could physically duke it out, and I think that's where a lot of his repressed, anger comes from. But whenever he takes it out, they think he's the problem, and they're not justifying their actions. This is what I mean. This is why I love this guy, and I'm so glad we did this episode, because again, you're just like, oh, okay, you can piece everything together, but it's not like, oh, here comes the choo-choo train, we'll spoon feed you. It's there if you want to get it. Fucking love this guy.
Oh yeah. So Richard, what is your number 4?
One battle after another. And and that's the thing for me. Again, 5 stars. I think it's amazing. I was just my real memory of watching that theatrically was basically, I walked out, got down by a Nando's, and I just started crying. I genuinely just broke down, because not because of the peri peri chicken. That's my go-to gag for this bit. But no, I have never been affected by a film quite like it. I wish it had been higher on this list, my end of year list for last year. But the problem I found with it is I didn't get a chance to rewatch it, and then now I've seen the film 3 times. I still love the film, but I've noticed a lot more of like slower pacing. Its energy, I love its energy. I love a lot of the what's it, the Sisterhood of the Beaver.
Yeah.
It's fucking brilliant. But Perfidia. Oh god, Tanya Taylor. I've been literally Tiana Taylor. I've been trying to think of her name. Perfidia Ross.
Oh yeah,
something like that. But yeah, like, I love the opening. I love Sean Penn. Leo's fucking great in it. Sensei's the best. I don't know whether or not it's the 2.5 hour runtime or something. I just can't get it. It's just not getting higher for me. But again, I'm comfortable with it being an absolute, like, you've made a steaming hot bowl. You've made a steaming pile of nachos. Do you know what I mean? And you're just sitting there with a cold beverage Sunday afternoon, and you're like, man, I'm gonna get fucked. Like, let's do it. Let's go in. Let's watch this and enjoy a fucking good story told extremely well. And I wish filmmakers continue to strive and were able to tell stories of this kind of complexity that deal with parents. I don't really want to spoil the film, but like, I know a lot of people have seen it, but still, there's always one. The complexities of parenthood and obviously what's going on today. Like, for me, what sticks with me, as much as it's like the parents, Leo's storyline with Chase is without a doubt like the emotional core, but what really stuck with me and sticks with me is the fact that Sean Penn as Lockjaw is able to mobilize an entire unit of soldiers based on fuck all, and how quickly he's able to do it. And then you are seeing how the US military works now, and it's scary, and I just love it, and I love that the title has that kind of double entendre to it. You know, where it's, you know, it's one battle after another. It's like life. You are, you know, having one battle, and then it's another battle, and then it's another battle. And I think as we get older, we discover that a lot more. And yeah, just those final moments leave me crying every time. Like, and it's rare a film will do that, other than like Titanic and Armageddon. And as much as people want to laugh at that, I don't give a shit. You know, the ending of Armageddon, and you know the fly through the end of Titanic. I literally, if I ever need to cry, I'll just put them on. So, and it's the same with this kind of now, which is great. It's become like a little personal fave.
That was beautiful.
Sorry,
No,
yeah.
You don't need to apologise at all.
No, I did feel I was getting a bit waffly there, but
no,
yeah,
not at all. That was really well spoken, and like, I think that's great that film resonated so much with you, and and you had such a beautiful experience with it.
Yeah, so. I mean that's the thing. It's like, again, as much as we, you know, like, I know we've brought it up a few times, and hopefully Sam will edit it, but it you know, these are all subjective. Yeah, objectively great movies. You can't argue about the craft, so they make them very difficult to talk about. But in the sense that this is where this, you know, the personal aspect is what, you know, again, like, especially my films coming up, you know, I will, you know, you are going to hate them, but I love them, and it's interesting to see the kind of, again, where we've landed watching the same movie. It's really good. Oh, sorry, yeah, you're number 3.
No, that's great. Yeah, no, very well spoken. So my number 3 is Licorice Pizza, and I'm not going to speak too much on it, just because I do agree with fundamentally most of the things you kind of said. And the only thing I think I'll add, really, or there's 2 things I think, is like how wonderfully photographed kind of LA of the 70s is. And I think it's beautiful how they've kind of done it. It's mesmerizing.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And like you say, there's a lot of obviously like running shots through the streets and all this kind of stuff. It's wonderfully captured. It's captivating. It's wonderful. And my only other thing is, like, I know Licorice Pizza gets some shit for the kind of, people would sort of say, problematic romance between, because he's underage, and Alana Haim's character is obviously not significantly older, but she's in at least her kind of like mid-20s, and I think he's 16, 17 or something like that.
Yeah, he's definitely she's definitely early 20s, early to mid-20s, and he's definitely below 18, But
I think it's just the way the romance is projected and done, it's so beautiful, and it's like, I think it's just really well crafted. And the thing is, they are 2 people who are clearly meant for each other, and the way that then, like, and again, like, it's very well crafted in that they, well, especially Alana Haim's character, dismisses the romance and sort of like no, and sort of knows that he's chasing her for so long, but then she starts to develop feelings and all this kind of stuff, and it's really well crafted romance, I think. And I think it just works. And I understand it can be kind of seen as problematic, but the way it's crafted, I don't think that it kind of really comes across within the story as problematic.
I mean, the thing for me is that she's the kind of realist and he's the fantasist.
Yeah.
So, but
that's again really well put. Yeah.
Oh no! I just want to add that, but also just quickly to your point about the problematic relationship. This is what really fucking irritates me, people. All right, we're going to do a Richard leans in, because why can't people be in relationships like that, right? But you dirty bastards have to really imply it, that it has to be a sexual thing. There is nothing sexual about their relationship at all, and it is just pure love. Like that for me is, it's pure and innocent. And again, it's like Adam Sandler. It's not about the sexual aspect of it. It is just about, like, you know, someone who's lonely, looking for connection. And I wish people would stop overly sexualizing these relationships.
Yeah, because also it feels a bit like a coming of age, but for two people who are very different parts of their lives, where Alana Haim, again, is kind of finding that direction in herself and finds this kind of like magnetic force of, I can't remember Cooper Hoffman's character. And it's then... it's
that introduction scene.
Yeah.
Where he's so smooth. He is just so smooth.
And it's just like I say, it's just really well done, and like because obviously she's like a photographer's assistant and all that kind of stuff for like school photos, and it's really well crafted, and I just think that, like you say, like he's then kind of coming of age of leaving school and all this kind of stuff, and then Alana Haim's a very different sort of place in her life, but they're both kind of coming of age in very different parts of their life, and it's a different meaning to both of them, I think. But yeah, that's Licorice Pizza as my number 3.
My number 3 is Magnolia, and I know Magnolia for me was the first film that really kind of had an impact on me from Paul Thomas Anderson, like shockwaves. And I remember,
I think that's a bit high, but
that's fine. Again, like it emotionally devastated me in a way that I don't think I kind of recovered from. I mean, you know, I always have like these milestones, and I've been thinking about them a lot as I get older, which is I have The Flintstones is the first film that I ever saw in the cinema. So the original John Goodman film. That was the first film I got to see in the cinema. Then I had Star Wars, because that was kind of putting me on the path to like film and filmmaking. I was like, oh, I'd love to work for Uncle George, you know what I mean? And he's not my uncle, just want to make that abundantly clear, but he was just this, you know, soft, warm old guy that you'd watch in front of your Star Wars VHS. Then I watched Fight Club, which broke my mind in terms of narrative construction and how a film can do that. Films do that? The fuck? And then watching a film like Magnolia, where you see all these multi-stranded storylines come together, and it's the depth of that film that is genuinely... I remember putting it off because it became 3 hours. It's like Barry Lyndon and some of these other films, like Lawrence of Arabia. You go, oh, fucking, why is this film so long? And you sit there and you watch it and you go, that's over. What? And you're so swept up into what the filmmaker is saying and doing. I mean, you think that's film number 3 from him. I've got nothing left to say. It says it all.
Okay, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
So my number 2 is The Master.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we know what's next for me. But The Master, I think it is just masterful filmmaking. Like you said, like every performance is transformative from every single character. Joaquin, Amy Adams, Philip Seymour Hoffman, everybody. I think it's heartbreaking. I think it's funny in moments. It's just, I have no other words. I think it's just unbelievable. And it's one of those I come back to, like you say, it's not a film that you can watch all the time.
No.
Because there's a kind of a certain mood you definitely have to be in to watch.
I think you've got to be in a very positive mood to watch it.
Yeah.
Because again, it's so dark and psychological. But
no, I agree.
I don't want to keep tripping over you. And
no, not at all. I agree, and yeah, I just think it's just mesmerizing in every single. It's a 5-star film for me. I have no notes.
No. I don't blame you.
That's my number 2. It is perfection. I love it.
Yeah. My number 2. Inherent Vice. This is where you are a fucking idiot. I've said it at the beginning. I completely understand. No, but I completely understand where you come from. But this is a thing that I really need to say.
Talking sense.
No, but I need to bring this up to people because I'm sick of it. There is a wide variety of people out there who are fucking arseholes, and I wish they would stop shitting on these movies. There is a sub kind of genre that I've discovered called the wandering detective story, where a detective is hired for a case. It doesn't even have to be a detective. Big Lebowski is exactly the same thing. But they are put onto a case, and it's not about solving the case. That is not the point. This isn't Midsummer Murders or whatever you Americans watch.
What a niche reference.
No, it isn't. It's whatever
I mean,
anybody else wants to watch.
If you're not from England or like the UK,
I don't care.
You're not going to understand what Midsummer Murders
That's
is.
what Google's for. That's what Google's for. All right. But then the
should have said Touch of Frost as well. Chuck that one.
Yeah. Fuck it. Let's go for it. Let's go for it, man. Oh, white guys with tashes. Yeah, you go. Like, let's be real. Like, it's not about the destination. It's the journey, and I fucking love them. The Long Goodbye, Amsterdam, this Big Lebowski. I know.
Amsterdam's trash.
Look, that's your opinion. Again,
It's the right fucking opinion.
I fucking love Amsterdam. Because again, everyone came to it thinking it was going to be X, Y, and Z, and it became, G, M, and L. You know what I mean?
It just became Spot the Celebrity.
I disagree.
Taylor Swift is in it.
I disagree.
This person's in it. Oh, this person's in it. There is very, very little story. It's boring as shit.
Again,
just like Inherent Vice.
I disagree.
The journey is boring.
Okay.
No one cares about the journey if the journey is shit.
Right, shut up. You've had your moment, right?
Okay, yeah, fair
enough. No, I just want to get back to Inherent Vice.
Yeah, I'll be quiet.
For me, Inherent Vice is never about the crime or what's going on. It's about watching a group of characters interact that are so fucking interesting. They are the world. That is the world, and I love it. I love Doc. I love when Mayor Rudolph is sitting there. What's up, Doc? I love this world, and it is a comfort movie like no other. I don't want it to make sense. I don't care if it makes sense. I just love being in that world. I want to be able to just walk away knowing I have smelt Doc's feet. I have lived at the seaside. I've smelt the crab guys walking past. And I just love it. I fucking love this movie. There is not a time when you walk away from it going, "Tu panakeku, tu panakeku." I love it. I think it is genuinely one of the biggest fucking swings from a filmmaker I've ever seen. And it works. It completely won me over, and I've seen it 7, 8, 9 times, and I will continue to watch it till I die. And I will be happy. Yeah, it hurts when but I understand why people don't like it, but it hurts. It hurts me because it's the one film of his I just genuinely went like this. I just went wow, and it was my number one for so long until I found my other love.
Okay, moving quickly on from that very passionate and
utter load of bollocks.
Yeah, literally about Inherent Vice. So my number one, my favourite Paul Thomas Anderson film, you probably know by now, because obviously taking away all the films that I haven't mentioned, or I have mentioned, sorry. It's Boogie Nights. It's number one. I think it's one of the greatest films ever made, in my opinion. I think it's in my top 4 if you go on Letterboxed. Another plug. It's just unbelievable film. Yeah. Unbelievable film. And Mark Wahlberg, this is like Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
This is Mark Wahlberg. I love these kind of roles for him. And also just Burt Reynolds as Jack is... What a character. I mean, obviously, in finding out that he didn't actually want to do the film as well, and how him and PTA were at loggerheads throughout pretty much the entirety of making that film, actually kind of makes the film even more what an achievement that you've got one of your probably your biggest star, Burt Reynolds, who's kind of probably getting the funding because of his name attached to the film, is not actually that confident about making it. And Heather Graham, Philip Seymour Hoffman, William H. Macy. I love William H. Macy's story throughout the film and his development. And John C. Reilly, I love that every character has their own story
and it's all kind of, again, like it is kind of all interconnected, but it's all following Mark Wahlberg. He's the centerpiece. Julianne Moore as well. Can't forget her.
Yeah. And Don Cheadle for me.
Yeah, Don Cheadle as well. And it's like, but it's all following the center point of Mark Wahlberg, and they all kind of like sort of peel off of Wahlberg and his story, because he's the one carrying the story forward. And you see all these other people, and it is just incredible. Again, like photographing the 70s in an unbelievable way.
I mean, what a way to open.
Compelling way. Yeah, 100%. And then it's just like the way that then Mark Wahlberg's character, Dirk Diggler, how he goes and navigates the industry, and then ultimately how he falls as well. It's just like, it's tragic, it's captivating, and it's incredibly emotional. It's perfect. Yeah. I have, what else can I say? Like, it is, yeah, it's unbelievable.
No, and you know, as much as I could easily come in and say that's a basic bitch answer. I mean, realistically, it's a great fucking film.
Yeah, I mean, it probably is a basic bitch answer, like, but I don't want to deconstruct the entire film. You know what I mean? Like, we'll be here for another 20 minutes if I'm trying to like deconstruct.
I mean, you'll be even longer. Yeah, no.
But again, we're trying to keep these sort of things short. You know,
that's all right.
As much as we can, because again, like, we're both doing 10 films, but like, the nuts and bolts of it, that is what I think.
No. And that's what I mean. I as I say, I think you know, again, like that's as when a film like that can land with you, it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I remember watching it for the first time and just mouth ajar, just be like, "What the fuck have I just watched?"
Yeah,
it's something I've never seen before, and I don't think I've seen since either. Like that kind of film and the kind of effect that it kind of had on me. And yeah, that's why it's my number one.
That's one of your like big monumental moments.
I think so. Yeah, in terms of film moments. Yeah, as you were kind of talking about yours, I think Boogie Nights is a huge one for me.
Yeah.
And Richard, what is your number one?
Phantom Thread.
You're a dickhead.
No, I'm not a dickhead. I remember the build up to the movie was very much like Paul Thomas Anderson did a Q&A with Ryan Johnson, and he just went, "Dude, you stole all my crew." Because obviously they were both filming in England at the time. How an American, I'll never understand, is able to make a better English film, an actual English film, better than the English. Good luck. I mean, that is without a doubt one of the most quintessentially British films I've ever seen, and yet it's kind of it's just it's so transgressive in its approach to love. Now, I remember you saying you don't like it because of, obviously you don't like Woodcock. I love Woodcock, right? I've just realised, yeah. I love Daniel Day-Lewis.
I can make that in the edit sound however I want it to.
I know. Yeah. Good luck, mate. You do what you need to do.
I may or may not use that power wisely.
Yeah. Use it, man. That's fine. It's what I'm here to. I'm here to provide the shits and gigs. No, you're the technical expert.
I'll stop being a child now. But
no. Yeah. But the thing for me is that I absolutely love him because I can relate to him. I'm not saying I am him, but I can relate to that as someone who is of a creative mind, as you are. The thing is I think what a lot of people rub up against is the relationship. That the thing for me is that it's their relationship that I don't care about, because again, you've got the nice sweet honeymoon period at the beginning and it's beautiful and it is a traditional relationship, but the moments where you really get to kind of, there's a midpoint moment that I've been seeing a lot of clips of recently again, is the moment where he's literally sitting there and honestly with her breaking down. He says, "I don't believe in expectations because that is where relationships fail." And that's what she has placed on him. And once she realises that he is who he is, he's a fully grown human being with mummy issues that cannot get past, obviously, he has his creative process where once he's in the thick of it, he's a bit of a knob. But he needs the concentration and the physical kind of, it's mental and it's physical. But then once he's free of those, he's able to relax and be himself. And once she stops placing herself into those and accepts that, as he has accepted her, even though, that moment where, she gets to be in charge, you know what I mean, when she gets to, obviously, I don't really want to spoil it too much, but obviously with the soups and stuff, you kind of get to see that they really do love each other, and she understands him better than he understands, than other people understand him, but he understands her in a way I think is very, very silent, that you might not always understand, but there is so much going on that I could rip apart, because, and then on top of that, you've got the sewing. It's so beautiful. I think for me, the moment he falls in love with her, I've just remembered, is the moment where he rips the well, say rip, but they take the dress off the drunk American woman. Like that moment where she's screaming at her, going, "You do not deserve a House of Woodcock dress. You are disgusting. We're going." And it's the glee on his face that someone has actually stood up for him. Has he always had that? Because when you see him and his sister, they're always kind of at loggerhead. There is a respect, there is a love, but there is also something from the past that hasn't quite been resolved, I fear. Because the moment when she looks to him and says, like, "You want to fight? Let's go, dog. Let's go. We will fight." I absolutely love this film. And I will never, ever get tired of it. It is meticulously, even though it's a hard watch at times, the thing is that I love the romance. And again, it's like what he's able to do with films like Punch Drunk Love that didn't quite work in a way for me, is able to work and is like, boom, it's firing on all cylinders. Because if somebody can make me love a period drama, which I fucking hate period dramas, they're a director I need to be following. And I'll leave it there.
Wow. And that's a great place to
Yeah.
finish the episode.
No, I don't think it's a great place because you're a fucking idiot. Your list is wrong. And I'm sick of hearing your shit.
Okay, now that's a good place to end the episode.
Oh, I thought you were going to throw
No,
me some.
no. No, and I think, again, like both of these lists, like as much as obviously we've been having a go at each other throughout the lists and everything, they are just obviously each of our sort of personal opinions and all. And
this is how we are, really.
This is exactly exactly. This is how we are, and I hope you've enjoyed us going at each other as much as I think we've had arguing with each other as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I think we'll move on to our recommendations for the week. And I also, if you are new here, I recommend a film, and Rich also recommends a film as well for your viewing pleasure, whether it's a film that, it could be a short film, it could be a feature film, it could be an article, it could be whatever. And as this is PTA, I think I'm going to recommend a film that I've watched recently for the list that I've really, really enjoyed. And my recommendation is Punch Drunk Love. I'm not going to talk sort of too much more about it because I've obviously talked about it within my list. I think if you want to watch an early PTA that is quintessentially him, and I think something that is such an interesting character study of loneliness, of violence, of misunderstanding, I think I'm just going to leave it there. I think you should go watch Punch Drunk Love. That is my recommendation for this week.
No, and very good recommendation. And for me, I kind of obviously want to go a little bit more obscure, a little bit more out there. And for me, I'm going to go El Topo because I always try and thematically connect these. So a director I love is Alejandro Jodorowsky. And this is a spiritual Western that requires quite a lot of, people's patience, I think. But much like Paul Thomas Anderson, this is a director's vision that is just uncompromising in every single way. It does feature animal cruelty, so I obviously understand if people don't want to watch that. But for me, it was a transcendental experience. When you watch that film, I was like, this is what cinema can be. This is, very much like Paul Thomas Anderson. This is what things can do and be and is different. And it is just genuinely one of the greatest films that, cult films ever made. I stand by it.
Okay, amazing. Is that all you're recommending this week?
Yeah, I'm only going to do the one this week.
Okay, awesome. And, well, yeah, thank you so much for listening or watching either on whatever platform you're viewing or listening to us on.
Where can people find you, Sam?
I was getting there. I was just thanking the people first.
Thank you.
And so yes, Richard, where can people find you?
So yeah, you can find me, Richard Hogarth, at places known as Letterboxed, Instagram, and TikTok. I am known as the Video Store Clerk, aka VSC, and yeah, I am badass motherfucker. How are you?
I don't know about that.
Yeah. I've got to make these light because I hate doing this.
I've got to bring it down a peg or two.
I know. Well, no, I feel like a slag, so I've got
to. So obviously, you're probably watching this or listening to this on Rogue Studios. You can also then follow Rogue Studios on Instagram and TikTok. But also, you can find me as Sam_D_Hogarth. All the links will be in the description below as well. And thank you so much for joining us. And I hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as we have recording it. This is such a fun one.
Leave your rankings in the comments. We'd love to hear how you feel about this.
Absolutely, yeah. And tell us how wrong we are or how right we are as well.
Please
slag off Richard in the comments and
we need a laugh.
Tell him how rubbish his opinions are and how Inherent Vice is not the second best PTA film.
No, I'm letting you have it. I've
dissed you.
I've dissed you enough. I've dissed you enough. That's fine.
Okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.